Hey YouTube, this is going to be a somewhat brief video. It's going to be kind of short, hopefully, because I'm on my lunch break. But I'm also sitting downtown, so if it's a little loud and you can't hear me, I'm sorry for that. I'm down the harbor. It's a beautiful day, if I can show you. So for those who ever want to come and visit Baltimore, it would be nice. It's kind of cold. That's why I do have on a jacket. It's like 60 degrees, but to me that's a little cold. So, but it's nice. Nice sun. Sun is out. Nice little breeze. So, okay, let's get into the nitty gritty of why I'm actually making this video today. I actually had a chance to look over the Boston Celtics 2008. I think it was their team where they won, and I think that's their last championship that they won at that time. I just want to say I'm not a sports analyst, but I do like basketball. I was watching basketball during that time. This year I have not been really watching as much as I should have, and the reason is because I could not take all the teams that were actually moving around so much. They made such a big deal of moving around that I couldn't really follow up. Like to this day, it's a lot of people and places that I can't really follow up with. So I feel like the NBA, it's all about rings. A lot of people don't really cherish the sport anymore, and that's just my thoughts on it. So many people are getting traded, going to different teams because they feel like they can win a ring instead of actually focusing on basketball. But 2008, y'all know Boston Celtics do have a history of being a great team. Even before then, like even with Larry Bird back in the day, they had, more teams than just more players than just Larry Bird as well. But that's what's coming off the top of my head right now. But Boston Celtics and Lakers, like with Magic Johnson, they used to be like rivals at certain points, and then the Boston Celtics, went downhill, and they came back and became this team that was known to beat and all of that. So it was a big thing. 2008, they had, the big three, as they called it, and it was Paul Pierce. I remember Ray Allen being there. They had Rondo. They had Kevin Garnett. They had Big Baby. They had a really good team. So they decided to come and have this interview, and they went on for 7 minutes about why they didn't like Ray Allen's decision. Y'all, it is 2017. The last time they won a championship was 2008, and Ray Allen left Boston to go to Miami in 2012. So that's been a whole 5 years. I just felt like, okay, y'all this big team, y'all saying that, y'all were like brothers and this, that, and the fourth, and you felt this kind of way that he left, and they just went on and on for 7 minutes. If you haven't had a chance, it's up. You can look up the big 2018. It should be up. Kevin Garnett said his feelings. Everybody was there and said their feelings. And I feel like it was petty for y'all not to even invite Rondo to come on this interview, number one, or this show, because y'all all were part of this championship team. Number two, if you felt that kind of way and y'all so-called friends, you should be able to express that. Number three, Ray Allen, he tried to smooth things over when those things happened. I remember him coming up to y'all, making sure he gave y'all a dap when he was with Miami Heat, because I was watching Miami Heat at that time, and I do remember him trying to go over there, talk to y'all, this, that, and the fourth. But y'all grown, and that was 5 years ago. Kevin Garnett is now retired, and so is Paul Pierce. Why are we sitting here in 2017 talking about your feelings now? If you was mad about it, you could have still had him on that interview just to say, I was mad at you at that time, or this, that, and the fourth. Or even if you were mad, maybe a year or so, things will smooth over, whatever the case. But you mean to tell me that y'all still feeling that kind of way, that you could go on a whole almost 7 minutes about him being away from that team from 2012, from 5 years ago? You gotta be kidding me. That just goes to show you how money don't mean nothing. Money don't mean nothing. Fame don't mean nothing. You know, your friends normally, they're your friends. If they not your friends, if you feel as though they're not loyal, then they're not your friends. Because somebody could have picked up the phone and said these things to him. Like, I'm looking at basketball today, and I remember when Kevin Durant left Oklahoma, and I was like, oh my God, that's terrible. He should have did better than that, or whatever the case may be. And I did feel that way. But you don't see Russell Westbrook going out here like, oh, well, that man should have did X, Y, Z. And I mean, that's still fresh, you know. Why are y'all talking about this from 5 years ago? Let it go. Somebody has to let it go. Y'all won championships together. If y'all so-called close and y'all was over a friend's house and y'all was doing this, that, and the fourth, let it go. I just cannot even believe that y'all are that mad about this. Y'all are still talking about this. All this that y'all done went off to do. Rondo done got traded to what? 2 or 3 teams afterwards? Because he's with Chicago from what I understand now. He went to the Kings. Think he tried to go to what? One of them Texas teams. So, what in the world? Paul Pierce left, went to D.C., to the Wizards, and he went to the Clippers. And I think he just retired. Kevin Garnett went back home, and he retired. I don't know what whatchamacallit is doing. I can't even think of his name right now because he's really not important to me. None of them really are, but I'm just saying, like, I never was a fan of Boston, so I'm just telling y'all from things that I can try to remember right now. But I didn't think it was that serious. What do y'all think? I mean, do you think that they should have invited Ray Allen to this interview or this special that they had? I really think that they should have done that. I think it was petty of them to exclude him from that that interview like that, and that I just thought that was wrong, you know, and even to publicly bash him. And then Ray Allen wrote some kind of cryptic tweet or Instagram thing, but he took it down. And I mean, Ray Allen, you should say whatever you want to say at this point. If they're going to come and say stuff to you, then you should just say whatever you want to say at this point. I mean, they done already showed you how they felt or told you how they felt. I just think it's stupid. So y'all tell me what y'all think about that, because I thought that was just real, just petty. They could have let that go. They had much more to talk about than this, that, but they could have let that go. So what y'all think? All right, have a good one.